Hello, friends, and welcome to today's episode. Gregory hid what was in the cellar for many years, but when he was in the hospital, he changed his mind. But their newest maid, Donna, was the only one who could go inside. When she found out what Gregory had hidden down there, she decided to do something special for him. There's no way you can go down there. How many times did I tell you? Gregory yelled at his kids because they were trying to open the cellar door lock by force. Dad! Ollie, his son, said, "But we want to see." "Young man, I told you no." "Now, you two go back inside before I get mad," he said in a stern voice. Julie, his daughter, cried out, "Dad." His voice was almost yelling, "Go." They ran off with their heads down and shoulders hunched. He wasn't sorry for being so mean to them. That's where he kept something important that no one could see. Mirtha, his wife, did not like him, though. "Greg, you said that was your man room." "I don't see why the kids can't go in," she told them that night as they were getting ready for bed. "Mirtha, it's not for kids. Would you like them to see something bad? Would you like them to get hurt or break something important?" He turned his hands over and shook his head. "What do you know? I believe I need to look down that way. I should be able to see all the dangerous and wrong things that are out there. I have the right to know what's in my house," Mirtha said with a shrug as she sat down on the bed and greased her hands. "Please help me, God, Mirtha. I told you I needed that space for myself since we got engaged. If you can't handle that, I'm leaving." "I swear," Gregory said. He stopped moving and looked at her with deep thought. "Fine," she huffed and frowned at him. She put the blanket over her body and slammed her head down on the bed in anger. Greg didn't care about her temper tantrum. He really wanted his own place, and his family would have to pay attention to it. But his wife wasn't done looking for what he was hiding down there. His kids got bored with it, grew up, and moved out, so they weren't interested anymore. It had been years since Mirtha had tried to find out. Greg paid someone to clean their house after the kids left, so Mirtha wouldn't have to do it herself. She also said she wanted to get out of the house by getting a part-time job. So, they hired a young woman named Rose. He told her to clean everything but the cellar. She couldn't go down there. He didn't think his wife would try to do what she did, though. Greg had to come home early from work one day, and Rose was in his office when he got there. For almost a year, she had worked with them and things were going well. She was responsible, on time, and listened well. So, it wouldn't be a problem to be in his office. She was able to clean that up. What was wrong being that she had opened a few of his desk drawers without any cleaning or dusting tools in her hands. When he walked into the office, she quickly turned around too. The inside of her mouth was also a perfect circle, and the rest of her face looked like a deer caught in the headlights. He asked her quietly but sternly, "Rose, what are you doing?" The way she spoke, "Mr. White, I was only cleaning," she said, leaked her identity. She had to stop lying. "Hello, Mr. White. I'm really sorry. I had to find the cellar keys because Mrs. White told me she would reward me. I had to have it. It didn't bother me. Oh, please. I'm really sorry." Rose told him, and Gregory let out a sigh. He asked, "Please move," and then he closed everything and took his checkbook out of one of the drawers. He wrote her name on the check with a pen from his desk. "Okay, here's your bonus. Also, think of it as severance pay. You've been fired." "I'm sorry, Mr. White," she said in a sad voice. "Yes, I know you are. I know you're not to blame. Someone I don't trust can't work for me, though. That basement is only mine. Please leave now." Greg told her, "I hope you get a better job." He wasn't mad, but he was sad. Even though Rose was a good maid, he couldn't let her into his house again after that. When Mirtha got home from her task, she was obviously upset about what had happened. "I can't believe you fired her so quickly." "I was to blame." She yelled at him, "That poor girl didn't deserve that." "I know you did it. You need to say sorry to Rose. Anyway, I already called a friend who needed a maid. They are going to hire her." Gregory answered, "I'm going to interview someone for our next maid so she knows I don't want anyone down there." "That's crazy." "You're crazy. We've been together for many years. I have the right to know what's in my house. Mirtha yelled again and swung her arms around the living room. Fine. I'll leave, and we'll be apart, so you won't have to worry about this again, he said with a nod. No. What's wrong with you? That's not what I want. The shaking stopped, and Mirtha looked at him with tears in her eyes. I understand what you need. But I can't give you that, Gregory said in a cool voice. You can't do what I asked of you. I'm going to sleep in my office tonight. Take some time to think about whether you can stay with me and not know this secret, or whether we need to part ways. He went to his office, shut the door well, and left her to think. She said she was sorry the next morning because she didn't want a divorce. She said she would let it go and not ask about the basement again. Gregory was almost shocked. He meant to fight again, but instead he hugged Mirtha and they went their separate ways. After a few weeks, he hired Donna, another young woman who was just as good as Rose. But he also put cameras in his office and outside, right next to the door to the basement. In the beginning, he checked on them often, and Donna swept and cleaned the leaves without looking at the door. In his office, she cleaned, shined, and fixed what needed to be fixed. She never looked around, though. She was wonderful. After a long time, his whole family seemed to forget all about the basement. Gregory didn't go there very often, so Mirtha didn't mind. That was the thing that first interested her. His man room wasn't being used. But for the sake of their marriage, she gave up her search for answers. It was Donna who worked for them when Mirtha died. She was 60 years old and very sick. She did pass away in her sleep, though, because she was on painkillers. Gregory was retired and a few years older than her. When his children and their families went back to their normal lives after the funeral, she was the only person he had to talk to. She loved books, talked a lot about her kids, and treated him like a friend, which helped him a lot when he was sad. Donna started to care for him more, clean up after her, and cook for him. She got paid a lot for that. His kids also had complete faith in her. She wasn't sure if this was a good plan. She did hear Mirtha's sorry, though. While she was dying, Mirtha said she was interested in what was down in the cellar. Donna hadn't been that interested in anything for years, but she wanted to know then. So, while Gregory went for his hour-long walk in the morning, she looked for the key. It took longer than she thought, but she found it on his makeup mirror in the end. She ran outside, but it was hard for her to open the lock. It looked old and rusty. She pushed hard, though. The metal finally gave way, and it opened. It was dark and dirty down there. Donna was scared of dark places all her life, but she went down the stairs anyway. She raised her eyebrows in shock at what she saw. What's this secret? She thought, I don't get it, but she didn't have time to look into it further. He asked, What are you doing here? She was caught. Sir, Mrs. White said that her only regret in life was that she never got to see what was down here, Donna said quickly. I thought I should see for myself. I am sorry. Greg didn't say anything. He only turned his head to tell her to leave, and she ran off quickly. He looked at the secret he had kept hidden for a long time afterward. This might also be important for someone to know. He wasn't sure, though. He got out of the basement, locked it up again, and then went inside. Donna wanted to say sorry for what happened again the next day. She was ready to lose her job because she knew other maids had been fired for spying. However, a friend told her that Gregory had been taken to the hospital very early that morning. That's why she also went there. Gregory was 71 years old, and after a lot of tests, the doctors said it was only a matter of time before he died because any treatment would make it take longer. He was given hospice care at the same hospital, and his children went to see him whenever they could. They did their best even though they were busy and had kids. Donna was there, which was good, because she could say sorry for what happened. That's when Gregory chose to do something. He reached to the table next to his hospital bed and pulled out the key. Here, he said. Look down there very carefully. You couldn't the other day, I know that. Keep my kids from knowing. Last but not least, you can choose to throw away or keep what you find. I'm not sure, but I don't want anyone to know. Donna took the key and said yes. After the last peek, which didn't help, she was really excited to find out what the secret was. But all the maid found was a bag with clothes for women, jewelry, pictures, and a few letters. There was not anything else. She asked herself, is this what he's been hiding the whole time? She read the letters and got it better after that. After that, she went back to the hospital and asked Gregory to tell her the whole story. The things from Gregory's first love, a woman named Ruth, were in that suitcase. A long time ago, they were young and angry with each other. But Ruth's folks didn't like Gregory because he was the son of a truck driver and a maid. It was an old story. Their plan was to run away together, and Ruth had already given Gregory her bags, which he had put away in his used car. Ruth's family, on the other hand, disappeared on the day they were meant to run away, and he never saw or heard from her again. The big house was empty, and he was by himself for no reason. His thoughts of them together and the things that were in his car were all that was left. Gregory worked hard to become a middle-class man, and he married Martha in the end. He didn't want anyone to see the things in the bag, though, so he couldn't give them up. Ever. He thought of the idea of a man cave. That doesn't seem like a big secret. After the story was over, Donna told Gregory, everyone had a first love that didn't work out. It's possible. But I think I felt bad about myself too. The girl I like left me because of my past. He also said, after all these years, I think Martha would have lost it if she found out, so I kept my secret. Now I'm at peace. You get rid of those. Okay, Donna said in a doubtful tone. That night, she wasn't sure if she should throw these things away, so she asked her teenage daughter what they should do. She told them to look for Ruth and give Gregory some real peace. Of course, social media was the first place to look. They tried different spellings of Ruth's name, which was in the letters. They also looked at the 2 pictures Gregory had kept. Opal, Ruth's daughter, responded to their message, which surprised them. So she told him that her mom didn't use social media but that she would love to get her mom back together with Gregory. Opal wrote to Donna's daughter, my mother told me about her first love and how she lost it because her father wouldn't let her be with him. I always wished we could find him, but she told me not to try. They talked for a long time while Opal gave Donna her phone number. Donna told them that Gregory never got rid of her things. She also told him that Gregory wouldn't be here for much longer and that seeing her again would be a great gift for him. Even though they lived on the other side of the country, Opal was excited to do this. A few days after Gregory gave Donna the key, they shocked him in his hospital room. The tough man cried with Ruth, who gave him a kiss. Her husband, Opal's dad, died a long time ago, but she never forgot about Gregory. But she had nothing to remember him by because she had put all of her important things in that bag. Donna and Opal left them alone so the 2 old lovers could talk about their old times together. Love is funny, you know that. Opal said, some people never find it, and others never forget it. That's right. But I guess things happen for a reason too. Perhaps they weren't meant to be together, Donna said. You wouldn't be here, and neither would his kids. That's also true. But I'm glad you got in touch with me. Opal smiled. It's like a real love story you don't see very often. Opal and Donna weren't the only ones who planned a surprise, though. Greg asked them to get a priest when they got back to the room because he and Ruth were finally getting married. Mom! What the heck are you doing? Opal was shocked and asked. What about your kids, Mr. White? Shouldn't they also be here? Dot asked softly. Ollie and Julie were shocked by what happened, which is only natural. They agreed to it anyway after Donna quickly explained it, and seeing their dad's smile made them feel better. They got married there, and they bought flowers from the gift shop. Donna felt lucky to be able to see that beautiful moment, especially since Gregory died the next day. She gave the things back to Ruth after the funeral and everything was settled down. Ruth was glad to have them. After some time, she and Opal went back home. Ollie and Julie then chose to sell the house. The kids of Gregory helped Donna get a new job with a great family, but she was happy with her time with the White family. And hoped that Martha, wherever she was glad that the truth about the cellar had finally come out. That's it for today, friends. Please let us know what you think about this story. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon for more amazing stories.